If my voice is audible, can you confirm? Great, thank you. So as you know, we started 2 days back. Now it's a day 3, where we're going to discuss the AWS and the basic DevOps tools. Okay. The batch number is 199. And if you are not yet registered, scan the registration link, or else you can scan for the course content, or else you can go with the Logic Lab technology. You can go to this website, you can search for batch number 199. These are batch number 199. If you have any general queries, you can also approach the team, right? So moving forward for the day. So today we are in the flow, right? Today we're going to discuss about the types of service models in the cloud computing. What are the types of service models in the cloud computing we can get, right? Definitely, if you go to any hotel, or else if you go to any if you want to purchase any product, definitely we'll see what are the types of services. Means what are the types of services you are getting, right? If you book any flight, definitely we'll think about what are the services you are getting, right? So here also in the same scenario, so what are the types of services we have if you go to the cloud computing concept, right? So that is divided into 3 types. One is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So we're going to discuss that. And under the services, what are the tools we're going to use? Under the services, what are the tools we're going to use as per the services? Once we're done with that, we're going to start the AWS. Okay. So we're going to end with the cloud computing for a timing, and we're going to start our AWS syllabus. So in the AWS syllabus, if you see, first we're going to discuss about the infrastructure. Let me write on the whiteboard so that you will also have one clarity what we're going to do now. You can say as cloud computing service models, where we have the 3 types of service models. First one is as so we have the 3 types of service models. So after dealing with this, we're going to discuss about the AWS services and AWS infrastructure. We call it as AWS global infrastructure. In the AWS global infrastructure, we're going to discuss about the regions, about the availability zones, about the data centers, and one more topic is called latency. Before latency, we have to talk about mm, fault tolerance. After that, we're going to discuss latency. Then we will discuss about the edge locations or point of presence. Okay, right? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do for the day, right? So is anyone need to join of your friends? Shall we start? I hope everyone comfort. Shall we begin? Any queries regarding yesterday's class? So no doubts to anyone? Any doubts before we move into the class? No queries? Okay, fine. Thank you. Yes, Kalyani, you're all to talk.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kalyani.
Sir, can I get yesterday's agenda like once?
Yeah. See,
Cause today,
yeah, yeah. Did you see yesterday's recording class?
no, sir. This is my first class.
It's your first class. Okay. I
Yes.
will show everyone if who are here for the first time. Who are here for the first time? I'll just will show you what we had done yesterday. You can access the recording classes from here, like Logic Labs Technologies. Go to this website, Logic Labs Technologies. Here you can see uh, upcoming batches. See the 12th September. Here we are in the third row. Okay, myself Sai. You can see 12th September AWS Devops. Right. It's the batch number 199. Okay. If you go here, if you go registration or buy now, okay, which is the batch number 199, right? You can see here the syllabus or else first day recording class and it is a second day recording class. Okay, it is a recording class for the first day and it is a recording class for the second day. Okay, you can access this. Okay, Kalyan.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone who are not present for the last 2 days, you can access here. Even if you are not going to present, even after registration also, even buying this course from me, matlab, from the management, even if you are not possible to attend, don't worry, you can access the recording classes every day from your Graphy. Okay, it is your portal. You can register here and you can access all the recording classes of entire course once you done registration. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Thank you. So anyone else, any doubts? Okay. Right. So what is the service models? What are the three types of service models we have? One is PaaS, and SaaS. Infrastructure as service, platform as service, software as services. What does it mean? What does it mean? Let me give one simple example. Let me give one simple example. Okay. There's a kitchen one. I'm talking about a kitchen. Kitchen 2. And kitchen 3. See, just to understand you, I'm giving some simple examples. Okay. To understand you, I'm giving some simple layman term examples. Then we can connect to our technology. Let's say there's a kitchen 1, kitchen 2, kitchen 3. Suppose okay, I'm feeling hungry. I'm feeling hungry. If I go with the first kitchen, what happened here? I am the responsible of the utensils also. Okay, I'm the responsible of my utensils. Okay, I'm going to pick my utensils. Okay, I'm the responsible of my utensils. Ingredients, what are the ingredients in order to get ready to cook food? Then I'm also responsible for my cooking. So who are providing these utensils and the ingredients? From the kitchen one. Okay, from the kitchen one, I'm picking my own utensils. Okay, and ingredients required to cook the food. Then I'm started cooking. It means it is my responsibility. Are you getting my point? It is my responsibility. What are the utensils I have to pick? Okay, for my project. What is the project? Cooking is a project. Think as a cooking is a project. So to get the project done, I am picking my own utensils. Okay, which type of bowl, what type of bowl size? Okay, what is the capacity of the bowl? Okay, I have to think, I have to estimate myself, and I have to pick my own resources. I am the responsible. Once I take in the utensils, it means I am the responsible to maintain that. Okay, I am the responsible to maintain that. So that is the first situation. Okay, from the kitchen one. If I go to the kitchen two is saying that you are not the responsible for the utensils. Okay, you need not to responsible for the utensils and all. Okay, we will take care of your utensils. Okay, we will provide the utensils to you. We will provide the ingredients. Okay, we will take care of, means we are the responsible. Kitchen 2 is saying that, okay, Sai, need not to, because it is taking a lot of time, right? Picking my own utensils and ingredients and started cooking. It is taking a lot of time and also a lot of responsibility. Another lot of responsibility. Whereas kitchen 2 is saying that, okay, Sai, we are reducing your responsibility. Okay, we are controlling. Okay, you are the flexible control. It means your control on the infrastructure is reduced. We are reducing your responsibilities. We will take care of the utensils management and the ingredients management. You just focus on the cooking. Okay, you just focus on the cooking. Remaining the platform, we will take care of the platform. Okay. In the third case, AWS, okay, sorry. In third case, kitchen is saying that, okay, the kitchen is talking with me and saying that, okay, Sai, now even don't worry about the cooking. We have already the pre-prepared food. Okay, we have already the pre-prepared food. You just come and have it. Okay, you just come and have the food. We prepared the food, right? So here, if you observe the example, in the first case, in the kitchen one, our responsibility is high, right? What are the utensils we are picking? It is our responsible to pick the utensils, and it is our responsible to manage the utensils. In the second case, we are not worried about the underlying infrastructure, right? We are not worried about the utensils and the ingredients because platform kitchen is maintaining that. Okay. And third case, we were not worried about the cooking also. The ready food is available to us from the kitchen three, right? So these kind of services, if we compare these kind of services, okay, in the AWS also, not only AWS, from any cloud computing service provider, even they are providing the services like this. So let me put one more page. In the AWS also, we have the three types of service models. Just like our kitchen one, kitchen two, kitchen three. See, in the kitchen one, if you observe, we are the responsible for the infrastructure what we are taking. So this kind of services also we have there in the AWS. Okay, in the cloud computing service provider, that we are calling it as infrastructure as service. Infrastructure as services. So what do you mean by infrastructure as services now? It means what are the infrastructure we are taking. Okay, what are the infrastructure we are taking? It means it is our responsibility to manage that. Okay, it is our responsibility to manage that. Okay. Similarly, we are the platform as service. Where the AWS is creating the platform for us. Okay, where the AWS is creating platform for us. Let me put here in this way. In the infrastructure as services, to develop any project, to run any applications. Sorry, my mouse little bit is headache with me. Okay, in the infrastructure services, suppose we have to develop certain projects. So we are selecting our own operating system. Okay, we are selecting our own operating system for our machine, and also we are selecting our own hardware. We are selecting our own hardware components, and we are selecting our own operating system. And upon that, we are running the application. It means it is our responsibility to manage this because we went to the infrastructure as services concept. If you go to the infrastructure as services concept, it means what are the infrastructure you are selecting, it is your responsibility to manage. What do I mean by manage? It means the security, right? That is the management, the security of your resources, okay, or else updation. Sometimes your operating system need to be updated time to time, so it is your responsibility. Okay, so these things we have to take care. AWS won't update your operating system once you selected your own infrastructure, right? That is the thing. If you come to the platform and services, if you come to the platform services, AWS will take care of the things. Whatever these things are there, AWS will take care. It will manage. Okay, it will maintain. Only you just come and develop your application. Okay, only you just come and focus on your application development, project development. You need not to worry about the operating system updation, patching, management, or the underlying hardware infrastructure. Right? AWS will take it. So this type of services we are calling as platform as services because it is providing the platform to us to develop the project where we are not worried about the underlying infrastructure. Right. So to give example to the infrastructure as services in the AWS, we are talking about the AWS. In the AWS, we have EC2, okay, which is the Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, this is one of the services for the example of infrastructure as services. Okay, this is one of the example for the infrastructure as services from the AWS. Right? For the platform as services, we have Elastic Beanstalk. We call it as Elastic Beanstalk, which is acting like a platform as services. So once we choose this service, it means it is acting like a platform as services. We need not to worry about the operating system underlying hardware infrastructure. Right? Then what is the software as services? Yes. In the AWS, we have pre-prepared softwares. Okay. Pre-installed software. It means pre-developed softwares. Just like our Gmail, Google Drive. See how the softwares are ready. Whether we are doing anything, we are not doing anything, right? We are not worried about the underlying infrastructure, and we are not worried about the development of the software, right? Simply we are using that software. So in AWS also, we have the software as a service, software as services, where the softwares are ready to use. Where the softwares, are ready to use. So example for this, we have AWS. Example, we have AWS Time. See, AWS Time is a software. Okay, AWS Time is a software directly from the AWS. So what is the use of this AWS Time? It is just like your Zoom. Okay, how we are using the Zoom, right? How we are using the Zoom for communication purpose, right? In the same way, in the AWS also, we have certain softwares where you can go and use the softwares readily. Okay. So example, AWS Time, and also we have the AWS Trusted Advisor. Okay, these are the examples for the software as services. Okay, you can use the AWS Time, which is similar to your Zoom application. Okay, by using this software, you can also have a communication, right? So AWS Trusted Advisor, it is also one of the software from the AWS. So using that, okay, it is helping us like the best practices. Okay, it is giving the information about the best practices of the AWS. Right? It's clear to everyone. Is it clear to everyone? Any doubts here? What are the types of service models? Let me show my PPT. Please kindly let me know if you have any doubts, because this is also part of your syllabus. If you are going to write exam, this is also part of your syllabus. Cloud computing service models, where we have the three types of service models. One is the infrastructure as services, platform as services, okay, software as services. If you see, the responsibility decreases. If you go with the infrastructure as services, it is your responsibility. Okay, it is your responsibility. If you go to the platform services, it is your responsibility to manage the applications. If you are software services, you need not worry anything. So that is what simple example I have given. Okay, simple example I have given. Okay, you can connect that kitchen example. Okay, in order to understand well, you can connect the kitchen example. So ultimately, the control is reduces. If you keep on going, the control is reduces. In the infrastructure services, you have more control. You have the more control over your infrastructure. If you go to the platform as services, so in that platform as services, if you are using any tool, your control is reduces on the infrastructure. Are you getting? Your control is reducing on the infrastructure, underlying infrastructure. If you go with the software as services, your control is almost reduced in the software as services tools like AWS Time, which is similar to the Zoom application, AWS Trusted Advisor, which is a best practices, which is a guidance to us about the AWS best practices. So such kind of software also available from the AWS. Okay, so it's clear to everyone now. Guys, any doubts? Any doubts? It's clear to everyone. With the other, please kindly let me know. Don't hesitate. Again, I'm saying you, it is our class. Okay. We are here to upskill ourselves, right? No matter what. Okay. No matter what other things. If you have this doubt, don't feel that because it is our class. Okay. Please try to clear, open up yourself. Try to clear the concepts. If you, I am telling you right. If you have the good conceptual clarity, then you will get the confidence. Okay. Only when you have the conceptual clarity, then you will get the confidence. Then you are easily you can give the interviews. Okay. So using the same concepts, you can easily learn Azure, GCP, etc. Because the same concept, just the terms are different. Terminology is different. That's it. But the concept is same. Fine. If it is clear to everyone, it's great. So now we'll start AWS. Okay. Now we'll start AWS. What exactly AWS? So what we're going to do with AWS? What are the services we are going to get the AWS? And why AWS is so top? Okay. Why AWS is so top in the picture? And what are the exam models also? We'll try to see what are the exam models, how to create the free tier account. Okay. We're going to cover all these things, right? If you see the PPT, right, AWS currently it is top, okay, in the cloud computing service providers. AWS is a leading, okay, which is a global leading cloud computing service provider, which is providing almost 200 plus services to the customers, okay, who are using the AWS infrastructure, right, who are using the AWS infrastructure. That AWS is providing almost 200 plus fully featured services to the customers who are using the AWS infrastructure, right? So that services also it's segregated. The services also segregated under categories. Okay, under AWS service categories, you can see under compute we have the different tools. Under storage we have the different tools again. Under databases we have different tools, right? Where okay, these all the tools are segregated. All the services are segregated under categories. Let me show you in reality. So this is my AWS account. I created one account. Okay, I'm trying to log in. Now see, this is my account. Okay, this is my account, free tier account. Don't worry, I will tell you how to create the free tier account. So this is my account, Sai Guda. Okay, right. These are the account details. Right. So these are all the services. Okay, you can go here. See, these are all the service categories. Even for the robotics, even for the machine learning, satellites, etc. AWS is providing infrastructure to the departments. Okay, to the different domains, different IT domains. For machine learning, IoT, okay, databases, compute, containers, etc. So AWS is providing multiple services. Right. So that is the thing. Now, if you see here, now we're going to talk in these two slides. Okay, in the next two slides, we're going to talk about the AWS infrastructure. Means what is the region, availability zone, and the data centers. Right. So before going that, as already I discussed with you, AWS is in the top. Okay, AWS is in the top as per the Gartner report. It is not saying by me, as per the scientific report, where we have the Gartner. Okay. So inside this report, who is on the top on the leaderboard? AWS, Amazon Web Service, followed by Microsoft. Right. And if you see the history also, because we're going to learn the AWS, if we talk about the history also, way back in the 2013, it is started its service in the 2006. Generally, AWS come into the picture in the 2006, providing services to the customers, providing infrastructure to the customers. But when they started these certifications in the 2013, they started providing certification courses, right? So like that, keep on AWS is keep on growing, and currently in the 2023, okay, market trends. If you see the market trends, it has almost 600 billion US dollars market, right? So where almost 60% of the cloud computing jobs are required AWS skills. Okay, so there is a demand, and we'll see once we discuss with this. Okay, once we discuss with this AWS infrastructure, we'll see how to set up the account. Okay, how to set up the account, and we'll talk about free tier account, and we'll see what are the levels we have in the AWS. Right. So let me discuss first this infrastructure, global infrastructure AWS. So for that, let me go to the whiteboard to explain there in the clearly. So we're going to discuss this now. Okay, we're going to talk about this now. So what happened, as we know, AWS, what happened? They physically they constructed the buildings. Okay, they are the physical buildings, physically located. They are the physical buildings. These buildings were called as data centers. Okay, AWS constructed physical buildings which were called as data centers. So inside the data center building, where the big computers, okay, all the IT resources, right, required IT resources through the virtualization concept, it is sharing these resources to the customers, right? So this is the data center one, and here we have the data center two, like this. It is the data center two, and group of data centers, okay, group of cluster of data centers, okay, right? Here also one data center one building with the infrastructure, and one more building, data center two, where the physical infrastructure is located inside the data centers, right? So now this cluster of data centers, data center one and data center two, right, which is connected internally. Both the data centers are connected internally. So this cluster of data centers we are calling as availability zones. What we are calling availability zones. So now what is the availability zone? It is a cluster of data centers. Okay, means what is a cluster? Group of data centers, right? Availability zones are nothing but it is a group of data centers. So here also it is a group of data centers. We can call it is also as an availability zone. Okay, availability zone. Right. Now, this availability zone, we can also name them like this is availability zone A, let's say this is availability zone B. Now, what is the data center? Data center is a physically located building, okay, with the IT infrastructure, physical IT infrastructure. Then what is availability zone? Availability zone is a cluster of data centers. Availability zone is a cluster of data centers. Okay, cluster of data centers. A group of data centers we call it as availability zone. So which is we have the two availability zones now. One is availability zone A and one is the availability zone B. Right, one is availability zone B and one is availability zone A. So the group of availability zones we are called as region. Group of availability zone we are called as region. Now what is a region? You can also say it as region is a physical geographical region location. Okay, let's say Mumbai. Mumbai is a region. Now what is a region? Region is a physically geographical location. Mumbai is one location, which is a geographical location. We are calling it as region. Inside this region, let's say where the two availability zone, one is in the Nagpur, okay, one is in the Nagpur and one is in the Pune. Okay, we selected Mumbai as a region, and inside the region we have the availability zone. Okay, what is the region? The region is nothing but it is a physical geographical location. If you see the PPT, let me open my PPT. You can understand. So, what is the AWS region? It's a geographical location. It's a geographical region. Okay, geographical location, right? Which consists of multiple availability zones. It is a location where it consists of multiple availability zones, right? So in the same way, let's say Mumbai is one region. We are selecting Mumbai as a region. Inside the Mumbai, we are selecting Nagpur as one. Okay, Nagpur has one availability zone and Pune has one availability zone. And if you notice that, so inside the Nagpur, we have the data centers, physical located data centers, group of data centers, right? So then what is the availability zone here? What to say about availability zone? So availability zone is also sub-region, right? Part of the region, but it is a okay. It has a cluster of data centers. If anyone asks what is availability zone, you have to say that availability zone includes one or more data centers. Okay, one or more data centers, right? Like this. If you see the diagram, AWS region, inside the AWS region, we have the sub-regions. Okay, and each sub-region has a group of data centers. Each sub-region has a group of data centers. See, it is a building 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is one more availability zone with a group of data centers. And all are connected each other. All are connected each other. Right. So what AWS done? So in this in this formality, okay, in this picture, AWS is created almost 32 plus regions globally. Okay. What is the region now? Geographical location. Inside the geographical location, again it is divided into availability zones. And again inside the availability zones, we have the data centers, physical located data centers. Right. So let me show you clearly in the official website. I hope you are following me. I hope you are following me. How the AWS created the infrastructure? First, they selected the region. You see the global infrastructure of AWS. See, currently how many regions we have? 32 launch regions, and each region have multiple availability zones. So if you count all the multiple availability zones from 32 regions, we have one or two availability zones. Inside the availability zones, what we have? We have the data centers. As I shown you yesterday, what is the data center? How it looks like? See, this is how the data centers look like. The building. Right? Now this will become one availability zone. All this will become one availability zone. Okay, like this, we have a group of availability zones, we are calling a region. Group of availability zones, we are calling as a region. Okay, now see here, globally, these are all the regions. If you see the circles, these are all the regions. Now, this is the Indian map, right? This is the Indian map. In India, also, we have the two regions. Okay, one is the Mumbai as a region, which three availability zones are getting now. In the Mumbai, we have the three availability zones. Inside the availability zones, we have the data centers. Okay, group of data centers. Okay, in Hyderabad, we have the two regions in India. In India, we have the two AWS regions. One is the Mumbai and one is the Hyderabad. Okay, in Hyderabad also we have the three availability zones. Like this, see, UAE, like European countries, like in this continent, North American continent, like even the Australia, we have the two regions, right? So globally, AWS created a lot of infrastructure globally, right? In every continent, if you see, AWS have its own infrastructure. Now it's clear to everyone. So now, if anyone asks what is the region, you have to say that AWS created the infrastructure globally. So how it created the infrastructure globally with the regions, availability zones, and data center concept. What is the region? First, initially AWS selected one region. Okay, let's say next they're going to Delhi. Let's say they're selecting Bangalore as the region. Okay, next they're selecting Bangalore as the region where there is a high demand of infrastructure. Let's say where there is a high demand of infrastructure. So what they done? AWS selected Bangalore as the region. Inside the Bangalore, again they selected three availability zones, three sub-regions. Okay. One is availability zone A, availability zone B, availability zone B, availability zone C. Right. So inside the availability zones, they created the infrastructures in the data centers, right? Group of data center. Now the question is that why AWS is creating more than one availability zone? Anyone? Anyone? Why AWS? In any region, if you see, there are the more than one availability zone, right? In any region, we have more than one availability zone. Why? AWS is not mad, right? Why don't they create only one availability zone and provide the infrastructure? Inside the availability zone, create the data centers and provide the infrastructure? Yes. Maybe backup? Yes, Saranya, you are right. AWS are both in region, but they are independent of each. Yes, they are independent of each, but internally they are connected for connection, for networking. The other will backup. Yes, yes, Latif and Saranya, you are right. Okay. That is what we are calling, we are discussing the fault tolerance. Okay. Now we have the term called fault tolerance. Now we're going to discuss this fault tolerance, right? So what is this fault tolerance? Let me show you. Now let's say I told you in the, let's say Mumbai is one of the region in India. Okay, Mumbai is one of the region in India. Inside the region, we have the two availability zones. Okay, example, two availability zones. And let's say people from South India, they're coming to this availability zone. It means they're coming to this data center, pick the resources to create the infrastructure. Now let's say if anything happened to this availability zone, I mean floods, it may be floods, earthquake, or power interruption, power interruption. So what AWS will do? Definitely it is going to lose the business. Definitely the customers will feel dissatisfied, right? Because they created the infrastructure in the data centers under this availability zone. If anything happened to this availability zone, customers will feel dissatisfaction and the AWS will lose the business. So that is why each availability zone is distant from each other. Okay, minimum 100-kilometer distance. Okay, the distance between from availability zone to availability zone, minimum 100 kilometers. If anything happen here, it should not reach to this availability zone. So that is why internally they are connected. Internally, everything is connected. It means what I mean to say internal connected, it means the communication. The network is connected. Okay. Even if anything happen, the AWS will immediately they will move. Okay, immediately they will move your infrastructure to replicate inside this availability zone. So still, if anything happen here as a backup, you can still access the resources from this availability zone, from this data centers. It's clear to everyone? That is what we are calling as fault tolerance. In the AWS, we have one term called fault tolerance. Okay, it means AWS is saying that we are highly capable enough, okay, to tolerate the faults, to tolerate any faults by mistake. Okay, like earthquake, natural disasters, or power interruption, or man-made disasters, anything. Okay, we are tolerate the fault because we are the backup. So that's why we have created more than one availability zone. Okay, that's why we created more than one availability zone in any region. So it's clear to everyone the purpose of more than one availability zone for the fault tolerance purpose. If anything happens, still don't worry. Means AWS is saying that AWS is saying to the customers, see customers, don't worry. Even if you are coming to use the resources in our AWS, we are assuring you that your resources are safe because we are the backup. Because we are the backup in the form of more than one availability zone. Right. That is what AWS is assuring to the customers. Okay, like this. See, you can see here. And if you see this, see all the regions, see internally all are connected. All the regions are connected globally. Okay, through the cables. Through the cables running across the ocean. Even all the regions are also connected. Okay, all the regions, all the databases. Okay, you mean all the data centers, all the availability zones are globally connected. Right? So till here it's clear to everyone. Before we going to the further, any doubts? So like this, AWS set up the global infrastructure across the globe, so people from anywhere can access the resources. Okay, can access the resources. Now the thing is that what is the latency now? AWS is also saying that we are the highly availability, and also we are the low latency. With the low latency, we are providing the services. Then what is the latency now? Anyone? Any idea about the latency? Okay, no worries, no worries. I'll explain you. Okay, I'll explain you. Yes, good. Some are told very good answers. Okay. Yes, let me explain the proper. Because the thing is that here, AWS has to attract the customers are getting. AWS has to attract the customers to use its resources, to use its infrastructure, which is globally set up. So now AWS is saying that we are global. Okay, we are global. It means we are the infrastructure globally. How they set up the infrastructure globally? They selected the regions, and inside the regions, they are the availability zones, right? More than one availability zone as a backup or a fault tolerance. And inside the availability zones, again, we have more than one data center, right? If anything happened to one data center, still don't worry. Okay, still you have the backups even at the data center level. And AWS is also saying that, okay, right? So with this, what we are saying, it is global infrastructure, where the infrastructure at the global level, right? And we are also saying that fault tolerance. Because of this infrastructure setup, because of its infrastructure setup. And it also saying that, okay, we are providing the with low latency. We are providing the services with low latency. We are providing the services with low latency. What does this mean by low latency? Just let me give one example. Let me give one example. Let's say, let's say I am from India. Okay, I am in front of my laptop. Okay, in the USA, Netflix, let's say Netflix software is running in the USA. Netflix software is running in the USA in one of the computer, the Netflix application. Netflix application is there in USA in one of the computer. Let's say I'm trying to access the Netflix. Okay, I'm requesting to open the Netflix any movie. Okay, it is my request. Okay, and the response I'm getting from the Netflix. So the calculation of this time. Okay, over the internet. Okay, over the internet. I am from India. I'm moving to the Netflix application to open one movie. So how much time it is taking? Okay, the sum of request time and the response time. Okay, it is a response time and it is a request time. Okay, let's say I requesting. Okay, my request from here to here. Let's say it's taking 1 minute. Let's think it is taken 1 minute to reach my request to the Netflix. And after 2 minutes, it is responding to me. 2 minutes, the movie is opening to me. Now, what is the total latency? 3 minutes, right? It means to open any movie, it is taking 3 minutes to me overall, right? This is what we are calling as latency. This is what we are calling as latency, right? This time taking for the request and the response. So that is why we are the 5G technology. What do you mean by 5G technology? Right? Currently, we are moving into the 5G technology. So 5G technology is saying that we are very low latency. We are providing low latency. What do you mean by low latency? It means we are there here to reduce the time. Okay, if you are going the 5G network, if you're going the 5G network, okay, we will provide the services within low latency. It means within milliseconds. Okay, like milliseconds are 0.01 milliseconds. That is what our speed. Okay, that is what our speed. Right, that is the speed of the data transfer. So that is why we have the 5G technology latest. If you observe that, see, did you see this? The ideal latency of for 5G is just 8 to 12 milliseconds. So it is a very low latency. okay, which is the foundation for 5G, right? The low latency is the foundational part of 5G network, right? Within milliseconds, you can get the information. Within milliseconds, you can download the things, you can get the information, right? So that is why even AWS is saying that, okay, we are low latency. It means what are the services you're going to access from the AWS with a low latency, within less time, we're going to respond to you. It's clear to everyone? Let's say, for example, if you're trying to open one YouTube video, okay, if you're trying to open one YouTube video, okay, if it is keep on buffering, okay, if it is keep on buffering, how irritated you will feel, right? Definitely you will feel irritation and you will stop using the resources next time, right? That is the case. So in the same way, AWS is also saying that we're not going to make our customers to feel dissatisfaction. So, right, because it is a game of internet, right? Over the internet, we are getting the resources. It's clear to everyone. Over the internet, we're going to get the AWS resources. It means how fast the AWS should provide the resources to us. So that is why AWS is saying that we are low latency. Okay, we are low latency, right? This is all the latency. And to make the low latency, AWS is using the edge locations or point of presence. Let me show you the edge locations of point of presence. To make this possible, what AWS has done to make this possible, okay, to make the resources in the low latency, what AWS has done, they set up the AWS edge locations. Let me show you. We call it the AWS edge locations or point of presence, okay, which is acting like a mini data center, okay, which is acting like a mini data center, which is near to the customer, closest point to the users or consumers. You can see here. Let me put in my whiteboard. Now see here what AWS done in this example. Okay, what AWS done in this example. Let's say I'm accessing here. I'm accessing the resources from the AWS. Let's say in the USA, from India. I'm accessing the resources from the USA. So it is taking very lot of time. So now AWS is saying that we are low latency. To make it as a low latency, what AWS done near to India, they set up one edge locations similar to the data center, but it is a mini data center. Okay, we are calling it as edge locations. What is the edge locations? It is near to the customers. Okay, now AWS will see where the customer is coming from, in which region. Okay, so that it will transfer the resources. It means it will provide the services from the near locations. Okay, that location we are calling as edge locations. Okay, edge locations, which is acting like a mini data centers. Okay, edge locations or mini data centers. So then what happened here? The distance is reduced. The request need not to come to the USA. The distance is reduced now, right? With this, the customer will face low latency. Okay, with this, the customer is going to face low latency. So in the infrastructure, so in the part of infrastructure, AWS infrastructure, we not only have the regions and the availability zones and the data centers, we also have the edge locations, which we call as point of presence. Edge locations are point of presence, right? So now it's clear to everyone what is the use of edge locations. Let me show one clear picture. I'm trying for good image. So which is the closer point to the user or consumer using the AWS services. Okay, which contains a small setup. Okay, which contains small setup, which is acting like a mini data center. Okay, providing the resources to the customers, right? To get a quick response, acting like a low latency. So that is the concept of edge locations to provide the low latency services to the customers. Low latency services to the customers. So now it's clear to everyone, right? So what we discussed for the day, we have seen the cloud computing service models and we have seen the AWS services in the different categories. We cover these topics, right? What are the region, availability zone, data center. We have seen this fault tolerance, right? Concept of fault tolerance and concept of latency. And to make it low latency, we are going with the edge locations or point of presence, right? We are going with the edge locations or point of presence. So it's clear to everyone, guys? So any doubts? Any doubts here? Yes. Now it's time. It's time to us. Then what about if someone try to access that data which not notifications? No, no. Yes, dear. It is a highly technology. Okay. Using the highly technology, we have other services also like CloudFront. Okay. Where the CloudFront, where the technologies using that, the AWS will replicate. Okay. The AWS will take care of that. Right. Even if it is not there, the AWS will immediately with the technology, with other services tools, they'll provide. Right. There are other certain tools for this purpose also. Internally, we have other tools. Okay. I'll explain you. Like where the CloudFront. Okay. uh, like edge cage. Okay, where the cage, where certain tools, using the tools, it is making possible, right? It is taking support from the tools. Now it is day 3, and I want to tell you all, please create the free tier account. Let me show you how to create the free tier account. So AWS account setup. Okay. Now, please kindly open the AWS homepage and select create an AWS account. Right, create an AWS account. Don't worry, I'm going to share with this the management. Okay, I'm going to share this PPT with the admin. Okay, you can also access this PPT. Okay, you can also access this PPT. Right. Let me show you how to create the free tier account because we have to practice. We have to practice on the labs. Right. From tomorrow, we're going to start our labs practice sessions because till now we covered the basics. Right. Till now we covered the basics. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you what is two important technologies tomorrow. Like what is the server client relationship. Okay, what is a server and what is a client? We're going to see that. And after that, we're going to see what is a network. Okay, what is a network? What is the internet? What is a protocol? What is a port number? So these things we're going to understand tomorrow. Okay, what is a port number? What do you mean by port number? What do you mean by protocol? Okay, what do you mean by IP address? Right? What do you mean by server client relationship? Once we're done with this theory, tomorrow we're going to start the practicals from the tomorrow from the AWS. Right? Because we have to understand all this theory before. Before we're going to work the practicals, we should first go in the theory. Okay, it means the concepts behind our work. Right? So it's tomorrow agenda. So let me show you first how to create the account. Go to the AWS. Go anywhere. Create a free account. Okay, create a free account. What it is asking something. Don't go here. It is updated now. Go here. Okay, go to the AWS and go to the sign into the console. Okay, console means this is the page. I just now opened it. This is the console page, home page. So what we'll do, go to the AWS and go into the sign into the console. If you sign into the console, in the down, you can see, let me sign out here. I'll show you. Okay. So once you go to the AWS and sign into the console, if you sign into the console, so you can see create a new AWS account. Okay. If you're new to the AWS, create a new AWS account. Select that. Okay. Just give, just give your email address and what is the name you want to give. Okay, you can give the name, right? And verify address. You will get one OTP to your email address. Once if it is done, go to the next page. In the next page, okay, in the next page, right? After the step 1 and step 2, okay, in the next page, kindly select the personal. Okay, personal account, not business account. Okay, kindly go with the personal account. Right, after personal account, give your personal information. Okay, give the personal information, and okay, you have to check box like customer agreement. You have to check that box, and after that, create account and continue. Right. So after that, here you have to give your debit card or credit card details. Don't worry, don't worry because AWS won't charge until unless you pay. Okay, AWS won't take even single penny until unless you pay. Right. So you have to add your credit card, debit card details. Okay, only that AWS come to know. Okay, you are able to. But we are creating the which plan? Base plan. Here, we are creating the free tier account. Select as a base plan, which is a free tier account. Okay, once you give the details, okay, after giving the details, phone number, and after confirming your phone number, in the ninth step, you have the two accounts like base plan, which is a free tier. It means you are the free to use the resources for 1 year. Are you getting? You are free to use the resources for next 1 year. That is what we have the free tier account. AWS free tier account. So this account will allow the users, okay, to try several AWS services for free under certain limitations. Are you getting? Under certain limitations. Okay, now we're going to practice under free tier account. You need not to pay for anything. Until unless we are under limitations, we are using our resources carefully. You need not to pay for anything. Even my account currently for the practice for you, even I created my free tier account. Okay, what are the account I'm showing you? It is a free tier account. You need not to pay anything. What is the limitation here? Users are automatically signed up for the AWS free tier account for 12 months. For next 12 months, okay, you're going to access the resources, services, okay, with limitations. All right. So we're going to practice on a free tier account. So you need not to pay, right? But if we are crossing any limitations, then you have to pay from your account. But we are very careful that we're not going to cross the limits. Okay. It is my responsibility. We're not going to cross the limits. If we are work, immediately we're going to delete that. Okay. If we have done any practice, immediately we're going to delete that. In that way, we can make sure we are under limitations only. Right. So now, even if we are learning in the AWS, right? We are learning the AWS. Even the AWS also have the global certification. Okay, AWS is providing the global certification. The first is the foundational, like we have the associate level. In the associate level, also we have the 3 certifications directly from the AWS. We have the professional level, we have the specialist. Right. So now we are focusing on the AWS Solution Architect Associate, where the companies are looking for most of the companies. Okay, we're going to see the syllabus. We're going to practice this under the Solution Architect Associate level. Right. So they are the types of certifications we have under the AWS. It's a global certification valid for 3 years. So it's clear to everyone, no? Is it clear to